Hey folks, how y'all doing? I'm Dean with Dean's Woodworking. Welcome to the shop. Y'all come on in and make yourself comfortable. So you want to turn bowls that sell. Well, today I'm going to give you some tips throughout this video how you can make bowls that are going to sell in your craft shows, online, things that are going to sell a whole lot faster than what we might be making as of right now. Stay tuned, and I will give tips throughout the video on things that you can do that are going to make your bowls sell much better. Let's get back at it, okay?
I just moved over to a larger bowl gouge. This is a 5/8 for roughing this out. On this mini lathe, I really can't use much larger than this, and I'm kind of taking it easy using this one because basically I can stop this thing, as you see I just did. I have to keep reminding myself to take lighter cuts. One of the first tips that I'll give you on selling bowls at craft fairs is these natural edge bowls. For some reason people are just drawn to these, and whether or not they buy this or buy what we'll call a standard bowl at this point, one without a live edge or a natural edge, it'll at least bring them over to your booth. Remember when you're turning this to move your body, not your arm. And I'm saying that to remind you folks as much as I am to remind myself. This one's most likely going to be a live edge because I didn't hold out a whole lot of hope for this bark staying on. There's a couple of areas over here that were a little bit punky. I was hoping we'd pick up a little color in there. We'll see as we process, or progress, I should say. One of the things I want to talk about turning a natural edge bowl. When I'm turning a natural edge, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to set my tool rest and get a pencil and just mark right on my tool rest where the bark meets the wood. I'm going to come back over here this side, and it's within a 1/16 of an inch. All right, I want to do the same thing here, and you'll notice it's way, way off. So both sides to be centered or level, then I'm going to have to bring that to where they're evened up. And let's see, that looks like it's about an inch off. So we're going to need to move this quite a bit. Now, how are we going to do this? First of all, we're going to release our tailstock, and we're going to move it so that this goes up. That's going to throw everything off just a little bit. Now we're going to double check this, and we're a lot closer. So we'll take a couple of more cuts and see where we are, because we're going to have to come up with this side anyway. All right? And I'm going to switch over to a smaller gouge here because we don't need to be taking a huge cut. Okay, so we've drawn a pencil line so we can see where the bark is in relation to the pencil line. And please forgive the voiceover. We had a glitch with the microphone again on this video, and it just stopped recording sound. So as you'll see, after that last cut, we're really pretty close. Now we need to come up from the bottom, and we're going to do that now. Just bring that bottom up so that we can put a tenon on it and get rid of that excess material. Now we'll go ahead and start parting this one off. And what we're going to do is go in and leave just a small little stub where we're parting it off there. And that way, when we go to line the live center back up, we'll have something to line it up to. You can see that sticking out there, even though that did kind of pop off a little quicker than what we intended. But we do have something to line the live center up with. And that's helpful when you're trying to line it back up. We'll go ahead and take one more cut here, and that's going to make sure that everything is exactly square and we're cutting it the same on all sides, and also give us a nice little finish cut there so that we can see exactly where that bark is landing. Folks, I was really surprised the bark stayed on this piece as well as it did. Now we're going to go ahead and mark for the tenon. If you're doing this, make sure that that side nearest you is the only side that touches. You don't want that thing thrown back up in your face. Now we've got a 1/2 inch bowl gouge here, and we're cutting the tenon. Making sure that that's good and square in the corner, and then doing one more final cut before we sand this thing and go ahead and turn it around and put it in the chuck. As you get up near the bark, slow your cuts down and take a more delicate cut. If you're trying to save the bark, this is not where you want to be aggressive. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to hit it starting out 150. Actually, I think we started out with 80 there. Then we go to 150, 220, and 320. And that's about as far as I sand these bowls, is to 320. When you're putting oil on them, there's not really a reason to sand much past that, in my opinion. So we'll go ahead and remove the drive spur we had in the chuck and chuck the bowl up.
Okay, we have it sanded to 320, which is plenty for a bowl like this. We're just going to put oil on it, and so that'll be a great finish for it. At this point, we're going to go ahead and hollow out the inside.
Okay, we're going to start off hollowing with a 1/2 inch bowl gouge. I wanted to show you guys this technique right here of just kind of coming from the inside out. The reason I wanted to do that is I also wanted to demonstrate this ring tool here. Primarily better for end grain turning. But you can see how this thing really excels at hollowing. I just wanted to show you folks that I've used it in a couple of hollowing videos, probably well after I should have stopped using it. It is a nice tool. Not too many things I like more than making shavings fly, guys. We're 1/4 of an inch. I like to take that down just a little bit more than that. You can see the bark and some of that came off. I was expecting that. We'll probably knock the rest of the bark off. Or you know what? We may just sand that down just a little bit and leave bark on. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Even wall thickness all the way down. It's time for some sanding on the inside. If you take a piece of sandpaper and put it in here and hold it and sand the inside of that bowl with that lathe turning, you are a braver soul than I am. All that's going to do is get your knuckles bloody. I don't recommend it. I make little things like this I call sanding sticks. I've got a video up on that. I'll try to link it at the end of this video or put a drop down link on it. We'll see how that works. These are very simple to make, cheap. They work great. And I'm not going to show all of the sanding on this, but I did want to at least let you guys see. And you know, one thing else I should check on before I do that. Yeah, that's what I thought. We've got a little button there in the bottom. We have a little scraper here, rounded on one side. So it's perfect for going in and just coming up. And you kind of hold it at a little bit of an angle there. And that can clean that up just a little bit, reducing sanding tremendously. Somebody asked me the other day what speed I was turning at. I wasn't able to answer them. I looked on the chart on this thing. It says that on this pulley setup, wide open should be 1200 RPMs. We are running this thing off an extension cord that's way longer than we probably should be running it off of. And I have no doubt that this lathe is running way less than 1000 RPMs. So just a heads up there. You know what? I'm going to leave this bark on right here. I'm going to grab a different sander, put it in the drill, and we're going to do this by hand. This device you see in the drill here is a bristle sander. I get them from Harbor Freight. They have a red one and this one's a blue one. I'm not sure what the grits are, but they are great for sanding off bark, or if you peel the bark off of a piece of wood, getting that last little bit of debris cleaned up. They're just excellent for that. And as you see, it's taking care of that bark and got it in real good condition there. Now that we've got that done, we can go ahead and take the bowl out of the chuck. And what we're doing here is putting a jam chuck in, and we're going to trim that down to size so that the bowl will fit up over it. We don't want it too small, but we don't want it too big either. So we need to take our time and fit it, sneak up on it. Obviously through video I'm able to do it in just 2 shots, but you guys know better than that. So as we get it done and slide right up on it, we'll bring the tailstock up and we'll be able to take that base off.
Okay, now when we're doing this, we don't want to tighten this very tight. We're just enough to hold it on there. And we are going to take very light cuts. We're going to leave just a little bit of that tenon on there. And that's going to be for a foot. Here we have our detail gouge, and we're just going to roll that right back into there. And basically that bottom just became a bead. Now cutting through here, we're going to make that bottom just a little bit concave. Again, we're just trimming away at that until we get it very small. And we're putting a light bit of pressure towards the headstock, not much. Okay. So enough to hold that on there. Now that we've got that parted off, we'll come in here with some sandpaper and we'll sand this off. If you take your sandpaper and go with the grain, it doesn't take much to eliminate that little bitty bit. And if you want to take a knife or a chisel, for instance, a bowl gouge, and just kind of scrape across that just a little bit, doesn't take much, because remember, you basically got it flat. So you just want to take just a little bit off. Now that's one more bowl gouge technique that you learned today. We'll hit it with just a little bit. And we are ready to put some finish on this. I'll tell you what, let me put some finish on it. I'll bring it right back and show you. Let's put just a little bit of boiled linseed oil finish on this. Make sure you get plenty on that bark. It's going to soak it up like crazy. As a matter of fact, if you look right there where I just put some on, it's already sucking it up pretty quick. I'll put several coats on this, but to show you guys, I want to just get a real quick coat on it so you could see what this looks like. And there you go, guys. Really a rustic looking piece, and one that will draw attention across the walkway from people walking by your show. Now I told you folks I would show you some ways to sell more bowls. Number one, this is a small bowl. When you're not making a video and trying to work in a shop that's as disorganized as this one is right now, I can knock these out in between 10 and 15 minutes from start to end. And once you get turning a few of them, I imagine you can do that as well. So if I sell these for 20, 25 bucks, you're going, wow, I don't sell bowls for 20, 25 bucks. Well, guess what? For every big bowl I sell that's $150 or more, I probably sell 20 plus of these. So I always make sure that I have small bowls at my shows. Number one, the live edge, small ones and big ones. You want to do that because that's going to attract the customer over to your booth. It's not something they see every day. Number two, if you've got items less than $45, you're going to sell them. When somebody walks over and they look at my bowls, the prices are on the bottom, and so they have to pick it up to see how much it is. Well, part of picking it up is falling in love with it. If they look at it, it's less than 50 bucks, there's a good chance they're taking it home. But if they look at it and it's more than that, it's kind of like an 18-wheeler coming into town, throwing on the air brakes and the jack brake at the same time, all the popping and noise, and man, they're backing out of there. There's just not that many folks at a craft show that are gonna throw down $100+. And the stopping point seems to be about 50 bucks. Well, you can sell these for, like I say, 20, 30, and people will buy it all day long. Folks, I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and happy turning.